Human beings have been locking lips for thousands of years, but we haven't always been doing it for romance. In fact, if you traveled back in time to the Bronze Age, you might find that kissing wasn't just a sign of affection, it was a biological gamble. The history of the kiss is a messy, complicated, and surprisingly germ filled story. For a long time, historians believed that romantic kissing was a relatively modern invention. Many experts pointed to a Sanskrit text from 1500 BCE as the earliest record of people touching lips. They assumed that kissing emerged in India and then spread westward through the conquests of Alexander the Great. It was a neat theory. It was a logical theory, and as it turns out, it was completely wrong. Recent research, specifically from scholars like Troels Pank Arbel, has blown that timeline wide open. By diving into ancient Mesopotamian clay tablets, researchers have found evidence of kissing dating back to at least 2500 BCE. That pushes our timeline back by a full millennium. We aren't talking about casual pecks on the cheek either. These cuneiform records describe kissing as an intimate, erotic, and even marital act. In ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt, kissing was part of the fabric of daily life. It was a social signal. It was a bridge between people. But why did we start doing it in the first place? To answer that, we have to look at the animal kingdom. Bonobos and chimpanzees, our closest genetic relatives, engage in mouth to mouth contact all the time. For them, it isn't necessarily about romance, it's about reconciliation, it's about conflict resolution. When two chimps get into a fight, a kiss can be the olive branch that restores the peace. It's a way of saying, we are still a pack, we are still together. Evolutionary biologists suggest that early humans likely inherited this behavior. We didn't invent the kiss, we repurposed it. Somewhere along the evolutionary line, that instinctive gesture of social grooming shifted from a way to settle a fight into a way to express deeper, more personal bonds. But there is a darker side to this history. Once humans started putting their mouths together, they also started swapping a lot more than just affection. They started swapping bacteria. This is where the science of paleomicrobiology gets fascinating. By analyzing ancient DNA from dental calculus, basically hardened plaque on teeth, scientists can map the migration of pathogens throughout human history. The kiss acted as a superhighway for microorganisms. One of the most significant impacts of the rise of kissing was the transmission of the herpes simplex virus type 1. This virus is a lifelong companion for a massive portion of the human population. Scientists believe that as kissing became a more common social and romantic practice, it allowed viruses like HSV-1 to adapt and spread across human populations much faster than they would have through casual contact. We literally evolved to be more connected, and our biology paid the price for it. There is also the sniff test theory. Some researchers argue that kissing originated as a way to assess a potential partner's health or genetic compatibility. By getting up close, you are literally breathing in your partner's pheromones. Your brain is conducting a high speed, unconscious scan. You are looking for signs of a strong immune system. You are looking for a match. It's not just a romantic gesture, it's a biological vetting process. If we look at the historical record, kissing has been treated with wildly different levels of social acceptance. In some cultures, it was common. In others, it was considered unhygienic or even shameful. During the Middle Ages in Europe, for instance, the kiss became highly formalized. It was used as a seal on legal documents, a greeting between social equals, and a sign of religious reverence. You would kiss a ring, a cross, or a partner's hand, but deep, open-mouth kissing was often viewed as a dangerous, volatile, and deeply private indulgence. It wasn't until the 19th and 20th centuries that the romantic kiss truly exploded into the global mainstream. Literature, cinema, and the rise of the film industry turned the kiss into the ultimate symbol of love. Think of the iconic shots in Hollywood movies. The kiss became the punctuation mark of the story. It became the goal. By the mid 20th century, we had so thoroughly romanticized the act that we effectively erased its prehistoric origins as a tool for social bonding or a vehicle for microbial exchange. We have forgotten that for the vast majority of our history, the kiss was a risky business. It was a way of breaking down the final barrier of the self. Your skin is a boundary, but your breath and your saliva are not. When you kiss someone, you are breaking that boundary in the most literal way possible. So, when did we start kissing? If we define it by our animal instincts, we have been doing it since before we were even human. If we define it by the cultural records of our ancestors, we have been at it for at least 4,500 years. Perhaps the most important takeaway isn't the date. It isn't the clay tablets or the DNA analysis. It's the realization that human connection has always come with a price. We crave intimacy so deeply that we are willing to risk our health and defy social norms just to get a little bit closer to one another. We are a species that spent thousands of years learning how to touch, how to taste, and how to transmit our very essence to each other through the air. We are hardwired for contact. We are built to seek out others, to sniff them out, to judge them, and eventually to trust them enough to press our mouths against theirs. The next time you see a couple kissing on the street, or you feel the urge to kiss someone you love, remember that you aren't just acting out a scene from a movie. You are participating in a multi-millennial chain of human behavior. You are engaging in an ancient biological negotiation. You are continuing a habit that helped our ancestors survive, that helped them resolve conflicts, and that eventually helped them define what it means to be close. Is the kiss just a remnant of our animal past, or is it the ultimate evolution of human empathy? Perhaps it is a little bit of both. We have spent thousands of years turning a biological necessity into a work of art, and as long as we keep seeking out that closeness, the tradition will continue, microscopic risks and all. We kiss because we are lonely. We kiss because we are curious. And we kiss because, after all this time, we still haven't found a better way to say, I am here, and I want you to be here with me. The history of the kiss is the history of us, stubbornly, dangerously, and beautifully trying to connect.